Without a shadow of a doubt, it's the Crockett Show in social media history. I want to welcome you to another episode of the War Zone. I got my man in the building, Donovan Sadiq. I got the Queen, Demetra K, and the Money Man is in the building, Walter. And I am the 5-star general. This voting BS still going on. I live in Texas where they had more early ballots than anybody in the country. They counted them in 3 hours. What the hell is going on, man? Can y'all just end this shit so we can go on and get started? So let's talk about it, man. Say, man, I want to welcome you to another episode of the War Zone and tell you thank you for tuning in. Because without you guys, it wouldn't be a show. And we appreciate you taking the time out to come and hang out with us. And that's what it is, man. The news today, I bear gifts. Let me, you took the time out, especially in Harris County, to go to the polls and do what you need to do. And your Negro politicians are going to reward you. If you can see that, that's called Operation Turkey in a Trunk. Operation Turkey in a Trunk. Now, I want you to know something. Everybody that's on that list, political-wise, you got schools failing in your districts. You got high crime rates, seniors being attacked, gang violence, and these people rewarded you by sending you back to office, and you're going to make sure that they have a turkey for Thanksgiving. Y'all them gobble niggas, man. And you know what? I'm sitting here and it bugs me. I mean, normally I'm jovial before we start and I'm joking, and tonight I'm looking at this and seeing that all it took for y'all to put these suckers back in office was a turkey. Gobble, my nigga. What's up, Don?
Hey, exactly. In the news today, they said that we should be able to find out who is going to win out in Nevada by tomorrow afternoon. There's been some court cases. Some were approved, and they're going to look into it as Trump tries desperately to stave off the election a little bit. Doesn't make sense because, what I don't understand is in a democracy, if you're for democracy in the American way, why would you want to stop the votes? All the votes should be counted in a democracy. So what this really tells you is we're in a banana republic. We've been there. We just don't realize it yet. We are in a banana republic because only in a country where 50% of the people say that the guy that has been running the country, racist, all this other stuff, they're cool with it. And I know a lot of you guys out there are like, oh, see, we told you Biden's going to get in, Kamala, woo, 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 woo. You know what? Go ahead and spike the ball. You made your touchdown. But 4 years from now, when nothing has changed and you didn't get a damn thing, let's have this same conversation again. So, Demetra?
Yeah, so as you guys know, the results are still, I guess, trickling in. They're saying that Biden is actually catching Trump in the key states, Georgia, Pennsylvania, and somewhere else. And so it looks like they're saying that, Biden may win and this, that, and the other. But just not too long ago, Trump had a news conference, I guess, if you will, where he was basically saying there's some cheating going on. I'm paraphrasing, obviously, but there's some cheating going on. And, regardless of who wins, it's not right that this is allowed to, to continue and all this, that, and the other. And so it is also said that Trump has gotten in some of the Republican governors' asses behind not, I guess, defending him and, really going to bat for him due to everything that's going on. And so It's getting pretty ugly. So there's really no telling when we'll get results. But my daughter was telling me there's some conspiracy theories running around. Conspiracy theories, obviously. But she's saying she's reading where they don't want to announce the results because they're trying to figure out how to navigate through the civil unrest that may come about. I said, well, that doesn't make any sense because, the federal government would be in charge of that. And doesn't Trump, isn't he kind of the federal government? So I would think he would want the civil unrest if it doesn't turn out his way. So I don't know. So Matt.
Let me say this here because I'm so serious about this. I can't speak on Michigan. I can't speak on Pennsylvania or Arizona. You motherfuckers in law enforcement in Texas know exactly what the fucking people did. Yeah, he won Texas, but I still have a problem with a motherfucker fucking with my democracy, man. You motherfuckers know exactly what these motherfuckers did, man. And if people cool with that, I don't give a fuck who the president is. You notice tonight I'm really not holding myself. I don't give a fuck who the president is. But it's time to get this country moving, man. We the laughing stock of the whole fucking world right now. And you telling me you ain't counted ballots in 3 days in a small little fuck ass state that you can fit inside of Texas. You ain't counted them ballots, but you counted the whole state of Texas who had more early ballots than anybody in the goddamn country. You counted them in 3 hours. Whoever get them ballots, man, count them motherfuckers so we can get somewhere back to normal. Somewhere. And all you motherfuckers on standby that's ready to act a fucking fool, man, what you waiting for? You pumping Kool-Aid in your heart. What you waiting for? Ain't nobody finna walk around here scared of you motherfuckers, man. Law enforcement, you know what was done. The federal government know what was done. Either you gonna do your job or fuck all y'all.
Walter, how you doing tonight?
Gary got me wanting to smoke some weed, which is now legal. Thank God we bought that Aurora cannabis, right, Donovan? Woo! Hey, man, Aurora cannabis was up 40% today. My stock options went hallelujah. I was starting to get nervous. Oh, man, I could keep my house. So, you guys, here's the deal. And this is a conversation that I had with D earlier. You guys, do you know what Jamie Dimon from JP Morgan is doing right now? Do you know what the investment guys are doing? Do you realize, right, the stock market has been up the last 3 days historically. It was supposed to be down because of the chaos and the confusion. It's a middle class shuck and jive. You guys, at the end of the day, and so I'm a registered Republican, right? Regardless of who I voted for, because I was torn. This is like probably one of the hardest elections because normally I vote with my money. And I was like, Trump is really a dick, And so, but still, I've had bosses who were dicks too. And I still went and got my check. But so I went back and forth and I went, you know what the crazy part is? I said, if Joe Biden wins, my money's still going to be straight. Matter of fact, when they announced that Joe Biden was in the lead, the stocks that I owned took off, the bank stocks. Not the Republicans are going to probably keep the Senate. So the oil stocks have some breathing room. Like, regardless of who's winning, you can participate in this growth. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what and I was having this conversation with my sister. She called me. I was pissed about, and I'm going to leave this person nameless. But like, we're talking about politicians and they're all shitty people. Joe Biden don't give a shit about black people, right? Kamala, she care about some of it because she's part of her, has some of us in her. But like, you guys, they don't care about us. And the crazy part, we don't care about ourselves. So why should they? Why should they care about somebody that don't even care about themselves? And here's what Barack Obama, what he should have said when he had the power is, black people, stop being so goddamn scared. Let's make some moves. You got a Negro in power, so-called Negro, whatever. Let's make moves. And he didn't. And it continued. And him and Joe had the White House for 8 years and they didn't do shit with it. So, and we gave Joe back. He ain't gonna do shit with these 8 years either. You know, say what you want about Trump, and he's an asshole racist. He probably is. But he did a lot of shit for black people. He did. Like, that illegal immigration is killing black jobs. Period.
You know, you say a mouthful when you say Joe ain't gonna do shit. Because I read an article today where O'Connell had already opened his mouth.
Oh yeah, shit.
All Joe finna do is write some fuck ass executive orders. O'Connell say he's shutting him down completely.
Yeah.
He not fucking with him. He not doing nothing. So my thing is, man, please count these ballots and get this shit over with so we can get back to a normal place. Because they ain't did shit. They ain't gonna do shit. And that's what it is, man. And as far as Kamala, no. Obama, they wiggles. I hope you know what that means. They wiggles. What's a wiggle? Monroe, you on fire tonight. White niggas. They ain't down with us. They wiggles.
Yeah, it's true. And you know, you guys, at the end of the day, if everybody had their money right, it wouldn't matter who the president was. Because black people especially, we have to stop this swing low. Jesus is coming. The Democrats are coming to save us. They ain't doing shit for us. Do you realize, and I had this conversation with a buddy of mine. He's like, man, my pastor told me money ain't everything. I said, you talking about the Negro that's driving the Phantom with his jeans creased at the barbershop? Are you kidding me right now? Like, you're not, I ain't gonna say his name. Go watch the TV show. Come on, you guys. Like, scared money don't make money. It don't. And when black people rise up and we start collecting our money and our power, they will listen to us. Like, we had a good thing in LeBron James. I like what LeBron was doing. I know he was, but the dude came from like basically nothing. He saved his money. He's built a community. He's taken not one, but two, but three teams to the championship. And the dude has all these schools and he's doing a lot of shit for black people. So like, we need more people like that. We need to take his lead. And I think, I mean, we have to shut the hell up, right? Joe Biden ain't gonna do shit for black people. Blue, no matter who, that's the dumbest shit I ever heard. Right? And anyways, don't get me started. I said I was gonna talk about something else. So, but what else? What else is in the political world?
Nothing but them bastards. Nothing but them bastards, man. Now, I will say this here about LeBron in his school. I mean, he put his money into his school, but he's still going to get funding from the state.
Oh, yeah.
Get federal funding. So I'm cool with it to a certain degree. But the same federal funding that they give him, they need to give it to these poor schools that's struggling. These black schools need their funding to be able to get these kids the help that they need. And then all of these schools can thrive. They don't want these schools to thrive. They want them fucking black schools closed, and that's the bottom line.
And you know what, Gary, to your point about the black schools, some of these Negroes like Michelle Henderson, those are the type of people that will elect failed leadership that won't go fight for the money for those schools. They get people in there who don't give a, they're just interested with having the title. They don't give a damn about the kids or the school. So, I mean.
Or taking a picture. Look, I'm with Maxine.
Michelle has her own way of thinking, but when I need a partner in crime to stand with me and cuss out them motherfuckers to get that shit for them kids, she's standing right there. Now, she might just be on the side of Joe, but that's a soldier. And she live around the corner from a school that's failing. Matter of fact, them motherfuckers shot across the motherfucking gate from South Lawn and shot up in the school. But they won't put no police in the school. But you go to the white school, they got 4 or 5 police officers. I
know that's your friend, and I have good friends, and you know, I've always was told by my best friend's mom, a friend would never lead you to danger. And Michelle is on here doing the most. So you say she's a soldier and she goes to bat, but she on here calling people crabs in a bucket for telling the truth and talking about Obama was the man. I bet you she couldn't say one reason why Obama's the man other than he got a cool walk. He got some pep in his step.
Say, I'm here tonight to give it to you, man. I'm here because I'm watching folks scared to come out the house. I'm watching people afraid to go to the grocery store. I'm gonna say this here on any subject y'all bring up. I'm gonna keep it 100. Obama a bitch, and I said it, and I meant it, and I ain't taking it back. You ain't did nothing for no black people. You ain't help us get no money. You ain't help us do nothing. And that's right.
So here's like, and I keep telling people this, you guys, Obama, what he did do is show us that a black man can be in power. And he gave the whole, you guys remember when Obama won? Because I remember me and Dee were in the house. And I remember the whole street was screaming, Dee included. And so I'm like, the whole world was celebrating. So Europe, England, the whole world was like, they had like, I've never seen so many people in the street for a presidential election. That was what we had to say. It's, you know what? The black man is in power. This is a good look. We are proud of the United States. But we have to feel that way too. Like black people, you have to stop this shit. I told you today, I said, man, I ain't gonna say this person's name. This person called me. I helped, they saw me on the war zone. I helped him out. Like me and my son, we charge $250 an hour for our work, period. I helped this person. We put together drafts, all kinds of shit. Legally, I spoke to people, counselors for them, put together all these plans that what a lawyer would cost you $5 to $10 grand for. And then yesterday, I get a fucking charge back from my membership saying it was fraud. Like, what the fuck? So then I had to spend 2 more hours dealing with this shit. After me and my son helped this lady, and in the middle of the night, like, that's what black people do to each other. That is screwed up. Like,
my boy has a term. Donovan, what do you call it? Donovan has coined this term.
It's called roaching. When a roach has no food to eat, they start eating each other. Roaching 101.
Call Obama a cockroach then, a flying cockroach, because he ain't did a motherfucking thing for black people. And I don't care what black people say. Show me something he did for us. And anybody got a problem with some kids being in the cage? Who the fuck built them fucking cages?
Yeah, that is true. They built them.
They built them goddamn cages, man. So, at the end of the day, we got to stop applauding failed leadership. We have to. I'm sorry. I get it. He black. And Mr. Monroe, how did you feel when he won? I say, man, this nigga finna fuck everything up. I knew it. And I knew it. And 8 years later, I feel like a prophet.
And that's what I'm saying about, the failed schools in our neighborhoods. We champion failed leadership. We don't get the right people in office to go do what they're supposed to do, and that's do right by their people. So when I see people, and Walter's right, I think I was like a lot of black people. I was ebullient when Obama was announced president, especially during his first term. I mean, it was like, it was something to behold, just to be honest. But in retrospect, he was a failed leader in regards to black people, and he still is a failed leader. Just because he's no longer serving in the White House, that doesn't mean he needs to stay silent when it comes to black people. He makes a peep here and there. He might tiptoe around the George Floyd thing, but he ain't really going to call a spade a spade. Him nor Michelle Obama, they would rather spend their time admonishing black people for not turning out for their candidates. So, I mean, you can't big up somebody like Obama and then say, I'm a soldier. And I know that, that's your friend, Gary, but I'm a soldier for the schools. I mean, it's like, you can't be on both sides of the fence.
Like,
for me, with Obama, with me, I feel a certain way. He's exactly the same as these city council people. He got in office and he said, fuck black people. And you can't get mad at a white man or a white politician or a Republican, because that Negro had the power to shake the game up, especially his first term. And he did nothing. He did nothing. So please stop holding the cool man's nuts, acting like he did something while he was in office, because he did not.
Hey, Walter, I got a question real quick for you. We've been in this pandemic, and I've been buying stocks that I usually wouldn't buy, but because they were so good and being low and taking advantage of that. What would you tell people in regards to when the economy crashes versus when the economy is on a normal hit?
Okay, finally. I mean, I love the politics too, but here's the stuff I love the most. So here's what I've been doing. Like when the election got close, the stocks start taking a dive, right? Like the cyclical stocks, the bank stocks, the cruises, the airlines. So a lot of those, like Nordstrom, some of the retailers they're getting killed right now. And so what I did is I said, okay, so originally I thought the vaccine would be here by January and I didn't realize politics was going to I knew it was going to get in the way. I didn't realize it was going to be like, really, it's November and we still don't have a stimulus? Like, come on now. Anyways, so what I've been doing lately is like yesterday, JP Morgan got crushed. It was down to $90, almost $98. So I sold some of my winners and I bought a bunch of JP Morgan stock. And then today, JP Morgan was at 105. So if you own stock options in JP Morgan today, you know what I'm talking about. I put a little bit more money in Aurora Cannabis, just in case Joe won, and ta-da, they're up 40%. So what I'm doing is I'm buying stock options for March and June, right until next year. And I'm still buying those stock options, the stocks that, some of the cyclical stocks. You guys, one day the world's going to open up. We're going to get a vaccine, and we as a people are going to be holding the bag, the empty doo-doo bag, because we're so wrapped up, and we should be wrapped up in the politics. But you guys, and Gary, you made a good point. You said LeBron is getting state money. Do you know why LeBron's getting state money? Because he brought money in the states. Like, we want to fuck with somebody that is on top of it. If you realize the richer you are, the more you have going, the easier it is to get money from the government. It's insanity, but they want to give money to people that are doing something with it. Right or wrong, it's what they do. They like to match grants and do things. They like to give money to people that are already kind of, you know what I'm saying, kind of doing something.
I don't want to hold his nuts either. I'm giving it to him all tonight.
Yeah.
I don't want to hold his nuts for a lot of reasons. And I ain't finna rock with him for a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
LeBron plays basketball for a motherfucker that supports Trump. Your boss has the ability to call Donald Trump personally and have these conversations that Kim Kardashian has had with it, that Kanye has had with it. You see what I'm saying? And the only thing I'm starting to lose a little faith in is that with Joe and the way that he talking, this motherfucking economy is not gonna open. Joe gonna keep this motherfucker closed, man. That's his way. And all this, I know how to deal with the pandemic. The way you gonna deal with it, Joe, you gonna keep everybody in the motherfucking house. You gonna keep people in the house. But the people that's in the house that can't work right now, they losing their cars, they losing their housing, they losing everything. And the little money that y'all sending down here to these people talking about rental assistance, these motherfucking people ain't giving it to the people that need it. They're giving it to their friends. They're giving it to their friends' kids, man. And the real people that need it is what it is, man. They stuck. So I'm not contradicting you, Walter.
I hear you, man.
Suckers tonight, man. LeBron, you should have took when you took that uniform off for George Floyd. You should have never put that motherfucker back on, homeboy. Because now look where we at. This shit is still going on, but you dudes that got the power to really shake this shit up, you ain't got the nuts.
And you know who he let roll him over?
The man with the cool walk that can shoot a 3-pointer because he going to speak to somebody about voting for Joe. That motherfucker ain't going through what we going. Obama don't even buy gas. Why he give a damn gas cost? He don't even put gas in his car. He don't have no car. They provide him transportation. So the shit that we going through, Barack Obama is not going through it. Fuck him and LeBron James.
No, yeah, and here's the point about LeBron and all those guys. Like, I understand for LeBron, like he's probably not wanting to like he probably doesn't want to deal with Ice Cube is dealing with, and LeBron has some good points. I mean, either regardless of who you voted for, Joe Biden or Donald Trump, I think we can disagree, on who to vote for. And some people see, like, there's some things I see in Trump that made me go, wow, like, I don't care what he's done for black people. Like, that scares me. But then I'm looking at Joe, I'm like, man, like, we were worse under Joe Biden. All that shit he talked about criminal reform, you had the floor for 8 years. Now you're going to do it? You still going to have a Republican Senate. So, no, I think that you can represent your candidate. That's cool. But do something about it. Like Ice Cube came out and black people fried this dude. And the Democrats told him to kiss my ass. We'll deal with you niggas later. And they fried him. And I know Lil Wayne, he seems a little off, but like the dude, it's his choice if he wants to support Trump. Black people, if it's not Jesus and it ain't a Democrat, we fry their ass. And
I'm glad you brought up Ice Cube and the situation. For all those that are spiking the football and doing all that good stuff, and you're just Biden, you think your life is going to get any better under administration, remember what he told Ice Cube. See me after the election. Let's see if they're going to hold to their word. I doubt it. Now that they've got the power, they're going to be like, nah, we ain't doing that. And you guys are the ones that voted for these people. And what somebody told me today, I don't know if you guys listened to Professor Black Truth or Dr. Boyce Watkins a little bit, or Dr. Boyce Watkins, if you listen to him. He said what you guys suffer from is house nigga mentality. Only a house nigga wants to see their master do well. And that's what you guys suffer from. And I'm going to stand on that like a rock.
Also, on the step with Ice Cube, let me read y'all a tweet from Ice Cube today. He says, let me get this straight. I get the president of the United States to agree to put over $500 billion of capital in the black community without an endorsement, and niggas are mad at me. He said, have a nice life.
And he doing exactly what I said he needed to do. Fuck you. Get out here and get it on your own. That's how it don't matter what he put into the economy. And he even said that whatever he was going to give, he wasn't going to take anything from it. He good. He wanted to make sure we were good. But we don't want to make sure we are good. You see what I'm saying? You sit here every Thursday night, you listen to this strong black man give you pointers on what you need to do with your money. And 90% of y'all don't even listen to it. You don't even listen to it. But let a motherfucker come up out the trailer park looking like a bum and tell you to do something, you're going to take your black ass and do it. I'm frustrated with black people. Because, of course, the election is over, especially when I'm at, the phone is ringing and I'm not answering. Q, stop answering your fucking phone. Let these motherfuckers get it on their own, man. They run around here and they want to kiss your ass. I want to see everybody got a plan. So have y'all heard of any plan that black people have come up with to hold these bastards accountable? Because let's just get him in. We'll hold him accountable. So what's the fucking plan?
Yeah. What is the issue? Joe, they're not, you guys, and the politicians, if it was up to me, the people would make the rules. The politicians would just relay our message. And I know that's what they're supposed to be doing, but they're not. People of color, black people, stop attacking each other. Like, I'm reading these comments, you guys, like, it's crazy.
They acting like Joe Biden is coming over for Thanksgiving with one of them damn free turkeys they gonna get from Sheila Jackson Lee and them. But this white guy, you guys might know him. His name is Ben Rhodes. I guess he's a journalist or something like that. He says, looking at black voters in Milwaukee, Detroit, Philadelphia, and Atlanta, it's striking that people who have been treated the worst by our democracy consistently does the most to save it. So those comments that you seeing and the comments everywhere else are from those people that Donovan, so eloquently said have a house nigga mentality. And Malcolm X talked about those people, talking about Massa, we sick. When Massa talking about when he got a cold and he says, I'm sick, the house nigga says, Massa, we sick. He says, when the house is getting ready to burn down, he said the house nigga is fanning and trying to save the house. But he said the field niggas like, shit, let it burn. Let it, he hoping for a wind to come by. He says he's hoping for Massa to die. But here we have these people who are defending this man who, Gary, to your point, what's the plan? Now that he's potentially going to get in the White House, what plan do y'all have to hold his feet to the fire? You don't have a plan. You won't make a plan because you were just happy with getting him in there, AKA happy with getting your greasy butter biscuit.
Yeah. So
Can you hear me?
It ain't gonna change.
You see my friend, hold on, Walter, because I got a personal thing going on with Angela Thompson. I told you last night you addressed me as Big Daddy. You addressed me as Big Daddy. Now, if you wrote it right, you would say Big Daddy. Ain't nobody asked you to do what he did. And you know what your Big Daddy would tell you? The reason why we ain't gonna never fight for term limits, the reason why we're going to keep having an economic gap, the reason why our children are not going to get a quality education is because somebody said we're divided. No, we're not. We're not divided. Because in order to be divided, you had to have been together first. And we ain't never been together. If I'm going to be your Big Daddy now, you're going to have to get on the team with me, baby. You're going to wear these pants the way I want you to wear them. And that's what it boils down to. But see, that's the problem. You ain't nobody answered that question. What is the plan to hold these people accountable? We talking about money tonight. What's the plan to get the economy back where it is going, where everybody has a shot at making money? What's the plan? How you gonna hold them accountable?
First of all, ain't gonna hold. Once he gets in the office, he's not doing nothing for nobody. I can promise you that. And black people, you know this. Well, he did. He put a black woman up there to run to make sure that the black people came out. So I mean, yeah, maybe that was a good look, but I can promise you nothing's gonna change. You know what's gonna get? It's gonna get worse for us because we are gonna get comfortable. Like, think about this: if you had a bill due in 2 months, Joe Biden is president, you think you're any better for having that bill paid? No. The crazy part is about Trump. And as soon as he was elected, I go, oh, he's taking care of his people and he's taking care of him. And he said, he was a jerk about it, but he said he was going to put the border wall up. And, the way he went about it was jacked up. But him keep stopping illegal immigration is helping black people the most. Period. It's helping us, you guys. And for whatever reason, we're not understanding that. He went about it the wrong way, and the Kung flu. I mean, he needs to read How to Win Friends and Influence People. Donald Trump is a hot mess.
Well, let me ask you this though. Okay, so all these butter biscuit folks voted for Biden. You ain't gonna get shit, whatever. How are they going to survive when the pandemic is over and stuff like that? Like you just said, they're losing their house, they're losing their cars. Most black wealth is in our house, if you have one, and in our cars. So what do? A lot of us are not going back to our jobs, the $9 an hour jobs. What should we be doing? What should we be looking at to help us? And, Andra, a good person that comes on the show, she says, I've been saying it for days, keep talking down on blacks, that helps. See, Andra, here's the difference. We can talk to you for 60 years, your NAACP and your John Lewis's and all your Congress, make you feel good. Look, I'm the first Negro in my neighborhood. Maxine Waters got a $16 million mansion, up in Calabasas, even though her ass is supposed to be living in goddamn Watts. $6 million, it makes us feel good, right? We feel good. Look at the condition we are in. It is time to stop being nice and tell the damn truth. And that's what we need to do. So that's why I'm asking Walter, as a financial guru, with people who are economically at the bottom of the system, what can we do to save ourselves economically? What should we be buying besides guns and some rice and red beans?
Can I answer before he answers? Do what you've been doing, man. Some of you men out there, go buy you some pussy. That's how y'all seem to spend money on. And I'm gonna be honest with you, Angela, oh, I'm going to be okay. That statement right there, I'm going to be okay. If I lived by that creed, I'd have never started fighting for these kids because I did not have a kid in the school system. It ain't all about you. And I told you to put Big Daddy in the front of your comments. It's my last time. Or I'm gonna treat you. I'm gonna go Ike Turner on you. Put Big Daddy in the front now.
You know, Walter, before you get let's, because me and Walter have to listen. Me and Walter had a long conversation, and I know he's pretty pissed off about the situation that happened. You know, he tried to help, you know, one of our people, and you know, it makes it hard for us to help us, right? This lady, and I should say her name. I ain't gonna do it.
Yeah, that part's not necessary.
I know I ain't gonna do it, but you know, she called her bank and reported fraud over $100 funky after all the work he did for her. So, and we also had this conversation because I see Sean White. How you doing, Sean? You say, what are y'all plans for making it better? So I want to have this conversation, Walter and Donovan and Gary. Y'all hear me joke about it a lot, but today I was really dead serious about it when I said, I think we need to go and make our own tribe of Black people that are serious about actually progressing forward, not willing to be tools of white supremacy and wanting to build businesses and just have a, you know, a real conscious way of living. And so, Walter, when you hear me say something like that, what are your initial thoughts on we need to just, because this is not an original thought, by the way. Marcus Garvey said that. He says there's, because he was trying to take us back to Africa. He said there's some Negroes that are no good here and they ain't going to be no good over there. So some of them we got to leave behind. So what are your thoughts on that? Because at this point, like, we are all preaching to a brick wall. I'm not talking about everybody, because I know a lot of people, especially who watch this show, they're on the same page, lock and step. But at a certain point, you just get to a point, you're like, you know, what are we doing this for?
I tell you that Sidney Russell had a comment, but I'm not going to read it all. And the final thing he says in his comment is, I'm trying to leave. Basically, he's trying to leave. Like, what, your try ain't working? Ain't hard to leave. Man, you ain't going nowhere. I got love for you, Sidney. You ain't going nowhere. And what you just brought up, Dimitri, makes so much sense. But we ain't going to do that. We ain't going to do it. Well, I don't know what we need to talk about. Maybe we need to talk about midget strippers or something. Because the more we talk common sense to these motherfuckers, the less they fucking hear.
Well, so let me back up. There's a couple things you could do.
White folk, man, I'm tired dealing with these niggas, man.
So what happens is, what a lot of people do is they do leave, but they leave the hood that they're in. Maxine Waters, I do not like. I've had dinner with her. Me and her, well, yeah, me and her, because it was taxpayer money. We spent $5,000 at happy hour. And I was like, damn, aren't you a rep for the poorest district in the... Anyways, so, but as far as leaving, you could leave. Like I moved out of the hood. I mean, I never really lived in the hood, but it was kind of hoodish. I moved out so I can like work on myself and do better. So sometimes you need to leave the shitty environment. I've even gone as far as saying, you know what I would do is I would take the people that want to do better, take them somewhere, and I would drop a bomb on everybody else and wipe their ass out. That's what I would do if I was president. Wipe them out. Like, if you're not going to participate, then what the hell are you doing here? And you guys, You don't need money, a bunch of it, to get wealthy. I told people, you know what? I was talking to one of my boys. He happens to be a white dude. He said, bro, I need to talk to you. He goes, me and my wife, we got a 700 credit score, and we want to do something with our score. What are you doing? I said, we put some money on the credit card so we didn't have to mess with our stock investments and all that. We bought some land. We're going to build on, so then we're going to turn around and get a construction loan and build on that land. We're going to build a house that's worth somewhere around 700 or 800 grand. It's going to cost us 400 to do it. So it's worth 800. I'm going to go get 75, 80% of that, which gives me 600 grand in cash on the refinance, pay off the $400,000 loan and put 200,000 in my pocket and let Airbnb pay for everything. So I'm going to give my mortgage company 2-3 grand, whatever it is. And I'm going to keep the other 30,000 a month in my pocket. And we're doing that with no money out of pocket, just credit. So some of you guys on here with 700-800 FICO scores, you ain't doing shit. Do you realize in a year you can, like I was telling my man, even if I'm wrong, right? And we only make 100,000 a year. Do you realize that we are a year away from making $100,000 up from a residual income? Like, it's insane to me, but people don't want to do that. And when I start talking this shit, people zone out. They don't want to hear this shit. Like, I almost had to slap the shit out of my personal trainer today. I was like, you got an 800 FICO score? You need to get to work. Scared money don't make money. Get to work. Like, so that's what you could do. I just spoke to a member. She's a good client of mine, you know, and I gave her some ideas and she was like, I'm on it. I have some people that I've talked to from here and they like, boom, they're like, we got it. What's next? So we could do that. We can cut our expenses, you guys. There's a good commercial out right now. It's for a car company, a used car company, and he's throwing money out the window. He bought a new car and he's throwing money out the window. And he says, when you buy a new car in 3 years, you lose half the value. So his message is, why don't you wait 3 or 4 years and buy that car and save half the money? People won't do that. They got to be in the new fly shit. So they're broke. So cut your expenses. Like literally, see this, I shut the door in my crib right there. That room is on Airbnb tonight. I might get a ding dong at the door any minute. That's $80 a night. And that room over there is $80 too. That's $160 a night plus cleaning fees. That's $200 a night. The devil is a lie. I'm gonna pay this mortgage rent on my own. I mean, like, I don't want people in my house. Okay, that's cool. Keep punching the clock. Keep doing what you do, right? So I don't want to have a mortgage. I don't want to have a rent. I don't want to have a car payment. You know what I'm saying? So those things helped me tremendously get back on my feet. D, I was sleeping on D's couch in 2008-9. I was broke as shit. I just lost $2 million. I was like suicidal every other day. It's like, if I didn't have kids, I wouldn't be standing here. You know what I'm saying? So I've been there. And even with the kids, sometimes they push me. No. But like, I just slowly, little bit at a time, started putting money away and taking shots and risk. And sooner or later, I was back in my own house and, you know, doing what I'm doing. But I cut all my expenses. I remember calling my car company and being like, they were like, where's the car? I was like, it's parked right here. Matter of fact, I put the key in it. I was like, I'm not going to struggle anymore. I gave up my cars. I short sold my house. My sister tell you, I sold all my houses, all my cars, and I started over from scratch. But it was the best feeling I ever had because I was free again. That's badass.
Michelle, this show ain't for you. So, and Gary, I'm going to be nice because that's your friend. This show ain't for you. So don't worry about what the subject is. Go on over to the show where they twerking and they talking about nigga shit all day long. But tonight, we not doing that. We actually talking about making some moves because everybody sitting on this panel has benefited from the advice that is going forth tonight. I guarantee you this was Grant Cardone or Susie Orman or any of them other white people sitting on here giving your black ass financial advice. You wouldn't be in the comments acting as ignorant as you are. So this show ain't for you. So, like I said, go somewhere where you can be satisfied and gratified.
Red 5 Guff Gunner said, okay. So instead of educating young blacks on how you came up, and you are fine, as you say, instead, just tell people not to spend money at a white-owned business.
That ain't the answer. That's bullshit.
Let me
That's not the answer.
You can't tell them not to spend money at a white-owned business because you guys are addicted to it. And
that has nothing to do with it.
No, I get it. Trust me.
Yeah.
I'm trying to answer his statement. It's not in his question and his statement. It's an addiction. You're gonna keep doing what you've been conditioned to do. Black Friday, you're gonna go out and you're gonna spend a ton of fucking money. And if you don't do it, you're gonna spend it on Amazon Prime and make them deliver this shit to you. You're not going to stop doing it. Now, I would love to spend my money at a lot of black-owned businesses, but one of the most successful black-owned businesses in town, restaurant-wise, I'm not going to pay to park. I don't pay to park when I go to the 5-star restaurant that's white. I'm not going to pay to park. And the service is garbage. So a lot of us, we can't spend our money with our people because the service that we get is fucked up, and you know it. So, but the biggest thing is, people like, well, this ain't the 60s. Why we stuck right here? We ain't built like them folk in the 60s, man. Them folks had discipline. We cannot stop spending our money wherever it needs to be spent at. And everything Walter talking about, he said he was broke. The thing is, if y'all don't want the game, in order to understand the game, you got to hit a whole game, man.
Yeah, I was broke as shit. Yeah, I was broke as hell. I wasn't like some people on here broke. Where I didn't have money. I didn't have money in income. I had an ex-wife that was suing me for $8,000 a month, and I had $1 million in debt. That is broke. That's what I'm not talking about. Some of you people out there. Like, I wish at that point, it was just that I didn't have any money. Because I could deal with that. I could go sell bananas. Me and the Mexican dude on the corner over here who sell flowers in front of my house, and the Negro across the street with a sign begging for money. I could go kick it with that dude and feed my family. I'm not talking about that, bro. And I get tired of people saying, well, this is what you did. What I did, you can do. It don't have no color. And I don't care what color the dude on the corner is. If he's selling good fish, I'm going to get it. Now, if a black man has a fish spot, of course I'm going to go there first, but I ain't going to make decisions based on color. We need to stop doing that. And we keep talking about keep the money in the community. Ain't nobody doing that. And if it was, we wouldn't be having this conversation. So y'all need to miss me with that shit. Let's talk about, I've given you guys a game. I did a class on credit 3-4 weeks ago. Somebody talking about the drink in my hand. Like, really? I told you how to get from 500 to 800 in a year or two, and that's the shit those are niggas. You need to do Warzone/nigga show. Because like right now, I'm telling you guys, there are people, like when I leave the Warzone, I'm having a call with one of my buddies, and me and him are talking about real estate, stock options, like let's get this money. Because right now everybody's Joe Biden, the president, and you got people making moves. So y'all need to pull your money together. Do you realize with $100 tomorrow you can go buy stock options on JP Morgan? And for June of next year, almost 9 months, $100, 100 options on JP Morgan, one of the strongest, most diverse banks in the world. But people won't do it. And so then it's the same old thing. Like with $100, E-Trade account is free to open. And with $100, you can buy 100 options on JP Morgan until June. I mean, like, there it is. Call your mama. I need some cash. Mama, your house is paid off.
You're having what I want to call an intellectual white conversation with some black folk. Now, Angela, she made a decent comment. You didn't have to put Big Dad in front of it, so I'm going to put your comment up. I don't spend a lot of my money. I'm trying to make money. I'm going to leave it right there. And you know why I put that up, Angela? If your money ain't making money for you, then you don't understand this game. The Asians allow their money to make money for them. The white folks allow their money to make money for them. So as much as you go to work, you will never close the economic gap because your money is not making money for you. Donovan allows his money to make money for him. He ain't got to punch a clock. He looks at a computer. He makes it go. Now, all of y'all out there don't even have no life insurance. How many times we done said this, Walter? Why y'all don't have an IUL life insurance policy? A universal index life insurance policy.
Or anything.
Yeah.
Something. I mean, like,
they could even say, what the hell is a universal index life insurance policy? That's the problem. You don't know. That's where your money make money for you. And some days it's better than the stock market because it has a floor and you can't lose your money. What the fuck is Monroe talking about? I be on that money shit.
You know what? Yeah, I'm glad you brought up the life insurance thing because we're going through a pandemic right now. Do you know what group of people is making a fucking killing? Again, it ain't black folks.
The grave debt.
It ain't brown folks. It's the white folks. You want to know why? Uncle Russ, Grandpa Jones, they got the COVID and they're dying, but they have insurance.
Yeah. We don't even know the reason why to buy insurance. We buy insurance according to what we have been taught to put people in the ground. If you're going to purchase insurance, and I was married to Dimitri, and I died, it needs to replace the income that is now gone. That's what insurance is for. Now you got enough inside of that policy to put me off in that ground, but now you got enough left to continue to live. So, Angela, when you say I have a life insurance policy, if it ain't a universal index life insurance policy, shut the fuck up.
Well, hold up. Let me, what he's trying to say is, because here's what I'm saying. You guys, just get life insurance. Like you can get, because I know sometimes the index universal life for some people can be too much. So even if you have any insurance, you guys realize, like I'm 50 years old, right? For $72, I have $1 million term policy. If I die and I don't have any other money saved, nothing going on, if I die, my kids get $1 million from just that one policy. It's term. It's not an IUL. I do have an IUL that I put money into also. And then I also want to make sure if I have a stroke, heart attack, the living benefits kick in and take care of my black ass. So my kids make sure I get, to the massage parlor and go to eat nice foods and go hang out, So, but like that stuff is cheap. And a lot of people are transferring wealth right now. When black people die, and not all black people, I shouldn't say all, but when most of us die,
we transfer debt.
Yeah. It's cheap, you guys. And I know as a people, we want nice things, but we're going to have to sacrifice first. And I come on here and I spit the game all the time.
She want to go blow for blow with me. Oh, my kid's going to be straight. So can you tell me the tax consequences of your insurance policy when you die, ma'am? If it's not an IUL? Can you tell me if you got $1 million, how much the U.S. government going to tax your people? You want to have this conversation with me later? I ain't that dumb Negro. You know why? Because while you've been hanging out with Keisha and Lil Boo Boo them, I was hanging out with them Asians. So what's the tax consequence? Do you get taxed more when you living or when you in death?
And it depends on how you leave the money. You guys, here's what I'm saying. Life insurance, get it. Yeah, get the life insurance and get it out of the way. You don't even have to talk about it. Like I bought my life insurance from AIG, which I also own stock in and stock options, and they're up to date quite a bit. Thank you, whatever. whoever, like, I'm not a fan of Joe Biden, but like the banks think he's going to win, and the bank stocks are dancing in the street because interest rates are going to go up and banks are going to do better under Biden in a split Senate. So the banks are going up. You know what I'm saying? But like, get you a term policy and be done with it, and then add an IUL, because see, I need $3 million of insurance because I want to leave each one of my kids $500,000. People say, why do you need to do that? I want to make sure my kids are safe. I don't know what the hell is going to happen with this earth. I told my kids, yo.
Let me ask you a question, Walter. If you had an IUL for the last 7 years and the pandemic started, right? This is a real life situation.
Oh, yeah.
And you ain't have access to no money. Could you pull money out of your IUL without the actual value of it dropping?
Absolutely. And it really depends how much cash you have in there. But in the IUL, the cash value doesn't drop. It's where rich people put their money, and they've done it forever. For whatever reason, with us, we question everything. I had a lady say, oh, I need to pray on that baby. I said, no, you don't. That's some bullshit. You've been praying to God for the answer, and he's giving it to you. She's like, well, you're a godsend. I said, yes. How do you think we met? You prayed for somebody like me to bring you the answer, and you still like, you want to go pray on it. Well, oh, you ain't God. No, I am God. God said I made man in my image. I don't want to hear that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you read the Bible, but when people use it, then all of a sudden it ain't real. Like,
let me ask you another question. We know everybody beat up Trump because he only paid $750 in taxes, right? So you got this IUL sitting over here, right? You got this money sitting over here. If you need it, you can go get it. And you need to get it. Is there a tax consequence when you pull it?
Zero taxes. Let me tell you something else about the Index Universal Life. And if you can't get it because some of us have health challenges, I get it. Put it on your kids. Put it on your mama. I got an IUL on my kids. I got one on me. And if I couldn't get it, I would get one on my cat or my mother or my sister. It doesn't matter, you guys. Here's the deal. Walmart got in trouble for buying these cash value policies on their employees without saying shit to them. And AIG does not suck. They're one of the best insurance companies in the world. I put my family, my life, and my money in AIG. People are like, AIG sucks because they had a bad experience, because they didn't pay their insurance, or they lied to the company, and AIG didn't cut them a check under the falsehood, period. And AIG as a company, yeah, they had their issues, but the life insurance company's been solid, right? So, and y'all need to, like, that's 2008 shit. Let that go. You know what the president of AIG is doing right now? Sitting in a hot tub with a big booty on a private jet. He ain't worried about people think we suck. If you have power and you're doing well, somebody gonna say you suck.
So let me ask you a question about the IUL. And I hope I'm not overbearing y'all tonight. Let me ask you a question, Walter, about the IUL. So if I sell drugs and I want to put my money in the IUL and I get caught in a dope case, can the government touch it?
I've never been approached like that, but I mean, the IUL, the money is harder to get to. How about that?
So what you're telling me is when OJ got that civil suit against him and he had them IULs and he went to jail for all them years, he came out with more money than when he went in, and they could not touch his money. So if you got your money sitting in the bank, ain't getting 1% interest, I don't know how in the hell you wouldn't put it in a vehicle that can get you 7 to 12% interest on a daily basis. Anybody else want to talk to me about money?
Well, yeah, OJ money, his money was in, so to give you the straight facts, OJ, his money was sitting in a pension plan. So anytime you have a pension, a 401k, government money that's protected by ERISA, like NFL, they have a pension for their players. So you can't legally touch pension. Now, the pension company use life insurance tools, an annuity. So OJ has $10 million in an annuity. In an annuity, you can do what's called annuitize it. Like if you win the lottery, they don't give you the money. If they do, they take half. With the lottery, what they do is they say, "Here, you won $1 million. We're going to give you 5%. We're going to give you 50,000, or we're going to give you 5% over 20 years." So all they do is give you the principal. They never pay you the earnings that you could have earned on your own. So when you annuitize it, the money disappears and it turns into an income stream for life. So that's the reason why OJ has his money. And you can do that with life insurance and life insurance products. That's what OJ did with his so, and that's why a lot of, Jerry Epstein, I'm sure he had an IUL, right? I'm not, going to go down the pedophile road, but like you brought it up.
I went to a convention in Vegas. And you know when they had the big conventions, Demetri and Walter?
Oh, you talking about the AES and the other one, the Worldcon or
I
whatever?
went to the big convention, and I swear with everything on my power, it was like 20-something thousand people in there. And you could actually count the black people out to 20,000. Wasn't nothing but a sprinkle in a bunch of white folk, but the whole room damn near was Asians.
Oh, you talking about the convention
that we ain't doing? Like Demetri say, she got to Houston, she drove through a section of town, and it was all Asians. Everything was Asians. So what are they doing that we ain't doing? The first thing that they're doing is they listen to their people.
You took the word right out of my mouth. They listen. They know how to take advice. See, the problem with us too as black people, we know every goddamn thing and have nothing to show for it. Somebody's trying to give good advice, or I did this, that, and the other, like got something quick and flip it to say with your broke ass. But Asians, they listen. They like, oh, is that what you're doing? Okay, I want to do it too. And they know how to work together. See, we too busy trying to poke holes in everybody's story. Oh, he drinking. Oh, it's just like, what he's saying true? If he was up here firing up a doobie, is he giving you the game? But see, that's part of the problem. I want to give a historical context to life insurance. Do you guys know that even life insurance was based in racism? Because when they would sell us life insurance, what would they sell us? For my insurance people on here, they would sell us burial policies. You know why they would do that? Well, for one, it was cheaper, but what doesn't come with a burial policy? Money. All it pays for is the hole, and it don't tell you you got to pay to open the ground. You got to pay to close the ground. It only pays for the ground. And so life insurance companies knew that robbing black people of the living benefits or the benefits that take care of your lineage or your legacy, they knew that would rob us of generational wealth as well. So they sold us these bullshit ass little $5,000 policies back in 1970, and the person didn't die in 2015. Well, what else happened? Inflation. So you still needed some more money to bury somebody. So that's why it's important for us to know that when people, especially white people, and I should also say, I want to debunk this, black people are actually some of the biggest purchasers of life insurance policies. We just don't purchase the right ones, and we don't purchase the right amount, and it robs us of generational wealth. We think about, well, as Gary said, let's just get them in the ground. But we don't think about, as Walter always makes the point, well, hell, if somebody close to me dies, I'm not going back to work. Most people are punching the clock. They give you 3 to 5 days bereavement. Who the hell gonna lose a husband and go back to work in 5 days? If I lose my husband, I want to not ever go back to work because I have this benefit that's going to keep me home. And if I have children, I don't have to, bring some man in to take care of me that may be abusive to me or my children. So that money allows you to make better decisions, and it also leaves generational wealth. But originally, we didn't get all that information I just gave because it was coded in racism.
Yeah. And now racism, we are doing it to ourselves. Do you guys understand? Like I mentioned a comment about Walmart. Do you realize that the only reason that Walmart is here is because JCPenney had his money in an index universal life? It was different then, but it was the same concept, cash value. JCPenney pulled when the stock market crashed. He pulled his money from life insurance and he kept JCPenney going. And in 1940, he hired Sam Walton that went on to start Walmart. Walt Disney, everybody said, you dumbass, who's going to invest in a company with a mouse as the front man? He went into his life insurance company and started Walt Disney with the cash. So but somebody has to go first. Somebody has to start saving. Like my kids, when my kids are 30 and 40, when my kids are 50, they will all be rich. God damn it. And that's the way it's supposed to be, if it's me or it's for them. And I don't give a shit what people say. You're not supposed to, whatever. you deal with your kids the way you want to, because one day you're going to need your kids. And if I help my kids become millionaires and I make a mistake financially where I end up with no money and I've created 6 millionaires, do you really think I'm going to be sleeping in the old Range Rover? No. So sometimes somebody has to pay it forward. I would have sold it first, but you understand what I'm saying.
My girl Georgia says, and she's speaking of the Asians, not crabs in a barrel. They don't hide information from each other, and the list goes on and on. But you know one thing about the Asians, they'll give you the game. They ain't gonna fuck around with you. They ain't gonna play with you. If you ain't serious, they not gonna waste their time. But they will give you the game. So you go. My daddy used to say, and then I'll give that to Donovan because I know he got something to say on that. You can't check a million hanging around with motherfuckers that ain't got number 2 nickels in their pocket. You want to be a millionaire? You're going to have to hang around millionaires. Donovan?
Exactly. I just wanted to add on to that about the Asians. Now, I was raised in Japan, went to high school there, stuff like that. The key to what the Asians do and why they're so successful, they're disciplined. They're disciplined to the plan. Consistency, discipline, consistency. It's all hand in hand. You could go to work every damn day, but if you're taking your money and you're going to the strip club and you're buying a Mercedes when you could have bought a Sentra and you're doing this and that, you ain't gonna make it. You're going to continue to be working and working and working. And I'm just saying, speaking for myself, you guys see me on this show all the time, especially when it comes Thursday. I'm always writing and I'm silent because when wisdom talks, I listen. And I'm taking it up. And I can only speak on myself. And me and Walter, we went to high school together like that. I've been retired since 2012, haven't worked a job since. Got offered a lot of jobs. Don't need it.
You need to help me start this airline while you bullshitting. We'll talk about that later. But you guys, we have so much power as a people. And one thing that, since you guys were talking about the Asians, one thing they don't do, they don't spend a lot of time talking about it. They just do it. And they're cold too. A lot of my friends are Asian. They're very cold people. They just, get to the point, get the money, keep it moving. Right? So like we can do that. We have so much swag. Do you realize, you guys, like Black people love us, but they're waiting for us to love ourselves. Do you realize you can't turn on the TV without seeing a Black anchor on there? Like, think about it. We are everywhere. TV shows, like we're everywhere. People are saying, Black people, here you go. You have a voice. You're on there. We got people like, what's his name? The South African brother. Trevor Noah. He be dropping mad science. You know, sometimes he act a fool, but like sometimes he, you know, we're out there. They just need us to get behind them and represent. That's all. And until we do that, and it's going to get worse for us. The next 4 years, you guys, is going to be madness. I promise you. There's going to be a lot of Black homeless people moving in with each other, which some of us should be doing anyways. The Mexicans live next door to me. There's 10 people in that house. They're in a 4-bedroom. I'm like, man, where do y'all park? It is insane. They got 4 kids in there, and man, people coming in and out all night. But when I see their face, they don't be stressing. They be up there relaxing. Lady in there making minimum wage, but like I don't never see her down. So we can do that. So we have to stop this, you know, and I don't know what people say, crabs in the bucket. This is not that conversation. The crabs in the bucket.
The crab we need to look out for is the one that makes it. And forget about the other crabs. Them the crabs we need to look out for. The ones that make it. See, you made it, Walter. You good. You don't have to be sitting up here talking to these people. That's one of our biggest problems. We don't know how to pull one of us up to the next level when we make it. But the white folk do it. The Asians do it. I know the Latinos do it. They gonna pull each other up, man. But us, soon as you see them all coming up, you get to hating on them. you get to hating on it, man. Like some people sitting there, they ain't gonna say nothing on the thread. They looking at Walk like, who this nigga think he is? I know you sitting there doing it. Man, who this motherfucker think he is? Motherfucker think he got it, huh? And I wish you could get it. The only thing you got is the crabs.
Yeah, and we can all get it. You guys, like I tell people all the time, I'm like, man, I've been up since 5 a.m. The stock market opens at 6:30. I'm on it. I'm counting my money, my family, people around me, they criticize you. All you do is think about money. I'm like, well, it's not money. It's like when shit comes up, it's money. We need to plan a trip. First thing, everybody, how much it costs? If we need to go somewhere, how much it costs? Oh, so-and-so's in the hospital, how much it costs? You know, like my father's out of town and we're trying to get his ass to move here. And really all it comes down to is about money. Because if I said, hey, Pops, I got a house for you. It's cool. You got 4 servants. And you know what? I got you some Muslim women in their 50s and 60s. They can take care of you. He would probably move. So it is money. I guarantee you. Otherwise, I could pay to kidnap his ass. You know, so money is important. So why not just spend at least 1 hour a day on your money? Go through your bank statements. We at Cornucopia, we do bank statement review where we go through your bank statements if you let us, and we'll go through every charge and tell you what you need to get rid of. I mean, it doesn't matter, you guys, and it doesn't have to be us. It could be anybody. Just get advice from somebody that's doing it. Like the stock options, I was investing in the options. So I'm just telling you, when I have life insurance, I'm buying real estate. So I'm just talking about this. I'm building my credit. I'm just telling you to do the shit that I'm doing. It ain't like I got it. Trust me. It ain't like look at my walls. My walls, some of them don't even have pictures on them. I don't have it like that. But I got a bookcase. I got one upstairs and downstairs because my buddy that was a millionaire said millionaires have bookcases with books. So I bought 2 and they're both full of books. Right.
Well, you kept your money in your pocket. Your house don't look like Fred Sanford house with all that shit on the wall. You don't need all that shit on the wall.
Right.
You need 4 walls.
Pictures of Black Jesus. Hey, speaking of, I do have my Ferrari hat. I don't have a Ferrari, but you can buy Ferrari stock. It's RACE, and they'll let you into the shareholder meetings when the COVID is over, right? Anyways, don't buy the car, buy the stock.
Donovan, I see you writing that down.
One share.
Of course.
It's RACE. The stock is actually, and it's funny, like when I go to dinner with my and I call them my white homies, because some of my white friends, they talk like you would think like they were one of us. I got a boy, his name is Sean Bradford. He watches your show. He's like, man, y'all be keeping it real on there. He's from the Dino, like the hood. But him and his wife are stacked. He goes, man, my mom, my parents, it was a hot mess. If you grew through my childhood, you wouldn't even be here. But we kept it moving and we kept going. And we worked together. He's one of my coolest buddies. I don't care that he's white. He's cool. You know what I'm saying? He's like, man, I feel your people struggle. What can I do to help? I was like, nigga, we gotta help ourselves.
Well, Shawniki, I can't pronounce your name. Just Booney.
Yeah.
Yeah. After college, a lot of us don't know where to go, but to work. We weren't taught the things y'all are teaching, and I thank you. Well, the one thing that I'm gonna teach you tonight is simple. It's simple. You cannot end up wealthy making somebody else rich.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen.
Yeah. Real quick, Donovan, I wanted to address you earlier. You write this down. There is can you read that? That's the stock ticker. Oh, hold up. I'm gonna make sure, don't go through all my phone. That ain't all good. Make sure my pitch. So there's a stock right there. It's RACE. For $200, you can own a share of Ferrari. Period. And go to the shareholder meetings in Germany or Italy or wherever they are. Imagine being in the room with a bunch of millionaires that own Ferraris. What you could learn for $200 on a plane ticket to Europe. Come on, man.
So
yeah, I think I'll pick up 10.
You got to have a vision. You got to give up on the 40 plan. You know, working 40 hours a week for 40 years to get 40% of what you made. Good friend of mine, she just, during the pandemic, she started selling these bowls with turkey necks and sausages in it. I look up 2 days ago, the girl got a whole goddamn food truck now.
Bam.
You see what I'm saying? You got to stop talking the game and you got to start doing it, man. Yeah. If you're tired of punching the clock, create you a business. It's supply and demand right now. People need so much. They need whoever came up with the idea to do, a ride sharing to make the groceries for senior citizens. They're making a fucking killing right now. They gonna make the groceries for the senior citizens, man. Come on. It's so much that you could come up with. But some of y'all just want to continue to go into these buildings and punch these clocks and think you winning the game. And then you got to wait a whole year. You got to save up money to go to Punta Cana or wherever the fuck y'all be going. Faking like y'all balling out the gym. And, I'm going to tell you, man, I used to put a map on the wall, a big map. And 3-4 times a year, this is how we pick vacations. Just pick up a dart and throw it wherever it lands or where we going.
That's hot. I need that.
That's where we going. That's where we going. Because I want to go places I've never been. I want to do things that I've never done. I'm only going to live one time. So, as far as I'm concerned, when I die, I'm going to die broke. Because I'm going to spend every goddamn dime before I go.
I mean,
I want to address Sharna Key, and I hope I'm saying your name right as well. A lot of people went to college and got degrees that aren't paying them what they went to school for. And, I don't feel bad about that. But my mom used to always say, if you do what you love, the money will come. So maybe you went to school, for something you thought you loved and it's not paying off. Well, think about doing that for yourself, because especially right now, people are having to reorganize and, come up with their own businesses. We know that in the Great Depression, more millionaires were made shortly after because there was nothing else to fall back on. And so people had to dig into their creativity and, figure out how to make a go of it. And they did. And so to Walter's point, especially for us as Black people, that's what we are going to find ourselves in. So while the rest of the country is in a recession or on the verge of one, if you will, Black people are in a Great Depression. And so we are at the point, like we were in Black Wall Street, where we're going to have to do for ourselves. Carter G. Woodson said over 100 years ago that we as Black people, we need to get back to the things that our parents were doing. Of course, back then they were washerwomen and they, did leather, just a whole bunch of necessities we need. Like we need to get back to those things. To Gary's point, his friend was selling turkey necks, bowls or whatever it was. And now she's grown it to a truck and eventually it'll be a restaurant. But we have to start. And my mom used to always say to start with what you have and where you are. Whatever you have, don't try to go out there and say, I need to go get me a big truck. His friend started in her kitchen, which probably stuff she had already. And then bam, the idea took off and the rest is history. But whatever you do, don't get discouraged and say, I went to school for nothing. It was in vain. I don't have what I need to get started. You figure out what it is you want to do and figure out how to get people to pay you for it. You are going to be rich.
Let me try. I know another person that did something during the pandemic. They started a podcast. They turned it into a talk show. One of the hottest in the country. But what they did is they created a pathway for politicians to be able to campaign because they couldn't campaign traditionally. So whenever you see that person post one of them flyers, that's 3 to 5 G's.
Yeah.
And all I do is talk shit about it. Welcome to the pandemic. Because I don't give a damn about being a Republican, a Democrat. The one thing I know, if my credit ain't good, I'm not going to live below the standards that I want to live. And I'm going to do what I do.
Yeah, and I know, and I'm just reading some of the comments, and I know some people say Andrew, you have to crawl before you walk. You can actually do both. You can crawl, but you can run at the same time. I tell people scared money don't make money. You're going to make mistakes. And if you have a job, have a side hustle on top of it. A lot of people I talk to have jobs, but they have a side hustle. You guys, you don't, I mean, I understand when you say crawl, maybe it's being careful, but sometimes you just got to take the shot. Do you realize in school, if you get your paper graded, and you get 6 out of 10 right, if you get 5 out of 10 right, it's an F. You're a dunce. You're a dummy. In business, if you get 5 out of 10 right, you're rich. In baseball, if you hit 5 out of 10, you're a Hall of Famers. Like,
Hall of Fame.
Boom. Every other 3-shot I take, 3-point shot I take, I make, they're gonna be tackling your ass. So like, you have to make mistakes. You guys, right now, this pandemic is the best thing that's ever happened to me financially. Oh man, they got the PPP money, the SBA money. You know, if you deferred your income, you got unemployment. I mean, like, and they get ready to give us another PPP check and another stimulus, and they might go retro. I mean, like, the money is on the way. Plus, people are realizing, like one of my friends was like, you know what? We're selling our house, we're buying an RV, we're moving to the desert. I'm like, damn. He's like, it's $300 a month versus $3,000, and we're gonna stack our money. Like, the gig economy is here. You can Uber and Lyft, and you can sell tacos, and you can Airbnb, you can do these things and live, you guys. And we have to get used to doing that. We have to the economy has changed. The job is disappearing. If you think you're going to work your government job for 10 more years, good luck with that shit. Let me know how that works out, because state employees are getting whacked. Government employees are getting laid off like everybody else. And for them, it's going to be worse because they've been locked up in the system so long. They don't know what it's like to hunt. The lady at the DMV that's a witch to all of us, you know, or the lady at the Social Security office that's hiding behind the glass is going to be struggling the most. You need you a side hustle. I don't have a problem. I'll Uber it. I was telling somebody, if my driver's license, I didn't have so many speeding tickets doing 90 miles an hour, I would be Ubering it right now. I would hang up, just talk to my boy, and I'll go Uber it for 3 or 4 hours and make me $200.
I'm gonna be straight up with you, dog. Some of these women got some good side hustles, man. They hustling these dudes. So let's stop playing that game. Y'all got money. But if you could take a chance on going to the casino, then you could take a chance on investing your money.
Yeah, and I know how to do a massage too. I only charge $100 an hour. I'll put my address in the link.
Yeah, look, I love Thursdays because, you know, I always learn something new on Thursdays. But the one thing that I've learned, especially from Walter and Demetra, is the fact the biggest mistake that Black people make when it comes to what they want to do, their dreams and their aspirations, they put it off and they say, well, tomorrow. Oh, well, I don't have enough money. Let me go. No, do it now. Just go for it. Do it now. Well, what's that saying that your mom used to say, Demetra? Nothing beats a wish but a...
My dad says nothing beats a fail but a try.
And that's what we got to do. We got to stop being afraid. I've been in situations where people were like, well, I don't have the money for this or whatever, have the money for that. No, you have the money. Yeah, it's part of your rent money, but you can do that if you really wanted to do it. If you really want to go someplace and live a certain dream, you only live once. You go for it. Our biggest problem is us. Well, I'm scared. I don't know. I'm not going to take a chance. You got to go for it sometimes.
Yeah, just take the shot. George Clooney said it the best. I don't learn from winning. I learn from failure, period. You guys, you have to take the shot, get your hands dirty, make mistakes. You know, like, I live with my sister. My house burned down. I'm not going to say who did it. And I went to go live with my mom for like 2 months. Oh, Lord. I was like, I ain't going to never be broke. I was like, oh, hell no. And as soon as I walked in the door, she was like, okay, rent's due on the first, here's all the utilities and the grocery stores around the corner. I still had smoke in my clothes. So, you know, and sometimes you want to crawl first. And if you're going to crawl, do it with your expenses. You know, Mercedes has this new S-Class that the lights turn on blue inside and it's got white cream interior. I want that. But what I don't want is, I don't want to interrupt my retirement. Yeah, can I afford a $1,000 payment? Yeah, but that's not fair to my family. Now, if I was making $50,000 a month, then I might feel comfortable spending $1,000. Or if I was making $50,000 a month, and when I get to that point, I'll probably just cut a check for it because I do want one, but I want to do it the right way. I want to let my house, my investments, pay the renter, pay for my Mercedes and my Range Rover. I want to do it that way first. Instead of putting $20,000 down on the car and making car payments for 5 years, put that $20,000 on a secured credit card and build your credit, and then use your credit to go buy something that's going to kick you an income stream. We could do it that way. You could pitch in together and buy stuff together. Black people, this whole thing that we can't work together, we got to stop. Like, I could put up $5,000. All four of us on here, everybody watching the show, let's say we all put up $1,000 and we went. Do you realize if everybody watching this show tonight put $1,000 in an account and we all manage it together, that we can go buy a piece of land right now? In a year from now, we could be splitting 20, 30 grand a month.
Absolutely. So anyway, we could be here forever dropping jewels and all of that. So Walter, final words.
Final words is like I always say. Somebody asked me yesterday, if you were 16, what would you tell your 16-year-old self? I would say, she ain't gonna work out long term. Get me a job. Instead of chasing her, I'm gonna work. I'm gonna save half my money, and I'm gonna spend the other half on my self-esteem, my physical, my mental, and I'm gonna make sure I'm stronger and I save half my stuff, and I'm gonna surround myself with people that are doing better than I am. And when I get that urge to go blow money I don't have, I'm gonna talk to somebody who's rich and see what they would do in my position.
Final words again. Whoever wins this election, the world is not going to come to an end. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. If Biden does pull this out, just remember he said he's going to take a look at Ice Cube's plan. We're going to see if he's going to hold true to that.
Really?
And when it comes to the politics of these next 4 years, please do not fall into the trap of letting the Democrats tell you what they can't get done. It is obvious that if Biden is president, he's going to have to do a hell of a lot of executive orders to get around Mitch McConnell. And that's going to be the bottom line there. So the world's not going to end. Stop voting against your better interests. And we're going to see how this is going to pan out.
Yeah, and I would say there's quite a few people here say they got their 1,000, and you could put me in on that too. I chip in 1,000 for this land that we gonna buy. You said it, so we jumping on it. So yeah, I'm with Donovan when wisdom speaks. I like to listen. I know I don't want to always be hustling. You trying to make $1 out of 15 cents, and so I just like to take notes, and I suggest everybody else does the same. And if you learn something tonight, put it to use and share it with somebody else.
I don't have much to say. Get this damn election over with, so we can get to normal, man. I'm sick of it. I don't give a fuck who. Ain't neither one of them gonna do shit for me. Ain't none of them did shit for me, and that's what it is, man. So that's all I got to tell y'all, man. So it is what it is. Say another spirited discussion from the best in the business. I want to thank my man Donovan Sadiq, the Queen Demetri K, the Money Man Walter Couture, and I am the 5-star general. Until tomorrow night, we're out.